Hello.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the pod.
Happy to be here.
Sun is shining, it's a beautiful day. It's like so windy
Woo.
all the time. Why? Why so much wind?
It has been so windy. Like ridiculously windy. And I realize we live in Alberta, which, you know, there's wind. But like it's not Lethbridge. Like that's I think of windy as like, down there.
Yeah, it feels like it's doing too much, but whatever. At least the sun is out.
Yeah, like it could be worse.
We're gonna talk about summer and habits, but do you have a win before we get into the pod?
Yeah. I'm currently podcasting from my new sort of office space.
Wow, fancy.
Tell, change of background. I am no longer at the kitchen table, which is where I've been since 2020. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Let's be real. When I started doing lots of work from home on this business, I was always at the kitchen table, on the couch, like wherever. And don't get me wrong, the kitchen table has done me well. We have a really nice kitchen table that my husband made, and I like it. However, it's nice to have a little, it's not an office. It's a corner of my gym. You can see the squat rack behind me in the treadmill. But I popped up a little desk here, painted the wall so it wasn't some weird paneling that's down here. And it's just nice to have like a space where I could like have a call and not have like my family existing in the background. And like my husband works from home like 60% of the time. So he has an office space upstairs, but I don't like his office space because he is not a tidy human.
Mhm.
And I don't like moving his things around to try to put my computer somewhere. So I wanted to have a space that was just my stuff. Plus, if I needed to like film something or like quickly show a client something, like I'm right here.
You're right there. Handy.
Yeah. So that's my win. That's my win. And I'm doing it like on a budget. I'm using things that I already had. I purchased a desk, I had the chair. I've been taking suggestions on what to do with this blank wall that I'm staring at right now. And some of the things have been interesting.
You should get a neon sign.
Okay, somebody suggested that. It is like $200 for one that's bigger than 30 centimeters. So unless I want a little, just a little
at JLAC.
little accent. But also somebody that I know that we both don't like has one, and I just feel like I don't want to be like them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I don't know if like neon is the vibe. Like this is still my gym. Like somebody also suggested like some sort of a tapestry or like a quilt, and I was like, this is still my gym. Like I don't really want that.
You could look like it's not going to be custom, but my partner bought a neon sign from Walmart the other day, and it's like a gaming controller because boys. But it actually was like so bright and it kind of gives a nice vibe. But there's other ones there that were like, I don't know, a bunch of different symbols. So maybe if I ever see like a weight one, I'll get it for you.
A symbol or maybe like something motivational, like what's like those sayings for the gym that we hate, like no excuses.
Yeah.
Something ironic, right?
I mean, I have like, you could look at like Winners and Marshalls and stuff. I have a sign that's downstairs. It's kind of cool. It's like this metal cutout sign, and it just says like, I can, I will. So like you could probably find something like that at like Winners.
I could probably, where would be a good place to find stuff like that is maybe like a thrift situation.
Yeah.
If I could thrift something really rad, I do have a couple shelves sitting on the floor right now. I'm going to put shelves. Obviously, I need a calendar.
Yep.
Because
of course
we need to know what the future holds. I'm hoping to get something that can hang up on the wall here. I can't put too much on the wall because it is just paneling. So it's not like drywall, right? Like it can't be anything ginormous. And I do have a really large whiteboard you can see right here.
Mm-hmm.
that I'm not writing workouts on. So I can write my ideas, my hopes, my dreams, my goals all over there.
Sick. We love it.
So yeah, after all that, do you have a win?
Yeah, I feel like, well, I have a couple things that are like works in progress, but we're gonna keep them as wins. One is like a business win, which I don't think I've shared this yet. But me and my manager came up with a new game plan of like my social media content.
Mm-hmm.
Did I already talk about this? I don't know.
I think maybe, but I mean,
Well,
keep going. It's still a win. Are
I'm
you
supposed
implementing it? Is that
Yeah,
the
so the goal is to post 5 days a week on Instagram, which feels like a lot. But his rule was that it couldn't just be like random shit. Like he was like, no, it needs to be like structured and planned and blah, 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 blah. We love Adam, but like he was like, you can't just throw up a picture and call it content. And I was like, okay.
I mean, I feel like it is easier to post when you have a plan. So like right now I'm not really like launching anything. So I don't have like a plan and I'm like, oh, this feels weird. So I just have kind of like a few things going on here and there, but I'm like, oh, it's so much easier when I'm actually like launching something, but I don't have anything to launch. So I'm like, I can't even just like go with something because I really don't have anything.
Yeah, so it feels nice. It's been like 2 weeks of posting 5 days a week. Haven't missed yet. Feels nice to have a plan. And then another like work in progress is like not revamping, but tweaking my nutrition a little bit. Just realizing like what I need out of my nutrition and getting back into some habits that have maybe slipped a little. So like, especially in the summer, my favorite lunch is just like a baked salad and a protein. So getting back into like that, doing like a smoothie every day, that kind of stuff, just because I've noticed with more activity, like my steps sit around like 12 to 15,000 a day now instead of like 8 to 10. And then with working out, I've noticed a lot of hunger like right before dinner when it's the prime time to just like grab a box of crackers or whatever it may be. So I need to shift my like afternoons to have more food in them. So we came up with a game plan a couple weeks ago around how to do that. So I'm not just like eating an entire box of crackers while I cook dinner, because we've all been there, but that usually means you didn't eat enough earlier in the day.
Well, I think like that's like one of the places that we both start when people are like, yeah, I just can't stop snacking. And we're like, yeah, because look at what you're eating earlier. And if you feel like that's you, I just challenge you to just like take a little inventory of your day and maybe even keep a little food journal and be like, oh, whoops, maybe I could add, like, why am I craving carbs right before dinner? Oh, because I ate a bagged salad and a piece of chicken for lunch. Maybe I could add some carbs to that and we might be okay.
Yeah. And it's nice to just like talk it through. Someone like me and my partner just sat down and we were like, what's happening with nutrition? And we both have like different things we need to tweak. But as you like speak it out loud, you're like, oh, that's what's missing. Cause I had noticed, when I was cooking dinner, I was reaching for like chips, crackers, things like that. I'm like, oh, it's because I'm starving, because I'm missing something before the gym, post lunch. Like there was a weird time gap in there where there was no food going in me. So we're working on that, which feels nice. So just a couple like organization things. Took a little bit of an inventory of my life, made some changes. So.
Always important. So as you kind of mentioned earlier, it is our now annual Summer Survival podcast episode. This is number 3 of this.
The third annual.
The third annual, because we launched the podcast in January 2021. So that makes this the 3rd year for this. And I feel like when I texted Jill earlier, as we do, to plan what we're going to talk about. And I was like, hey, it's about time for the Summer Survival podcast. Let's put up a question box. Let's see what everybody here, because whether or not you've heard us talk about this before, y'all need it again. Because
everyone needs the reminder before summer gets going.
Need to hear all these things. So starting off strong, should we work out on vacation? How do we work out on vacation? What does that look like? Maybe for us, or maybe some helpful tips for other people.
Okay, fair. Our everyone's least favorite answer that we give, it depends. Sorry, team.
Hey.
I also think that's fully up to you. Like I kind of play by ear with my vacations of like how long am I going to be gone for? What am I up to while
Mhm.
I'm there? Like when we were in Vancouver, I didn't plan to work out. I didn't like scope out gyms, anything like that, because we were only there for like 5 days and I knew we would be walking a lot. Versus
Mhm.
like if I was to go to, let's say, like an all inclusive or something, there's probably a gym on the resort. I can probably go do a couple workouts. So I think I very much, yeah, base it on the type of vacation I'm going on, how long I'm going to be gone for, that kind of stuff. If it's a really social vacation, friends, whatever it may be, I'm probably not going to want to take a ton of time away to work out. But also, if that's what's going to make you feel the best, then make some time for it. I usually prefer just making sure I'm walking lots, getting steps in, like adventuring by foot on vacation. And then I don't really have to stress about like getting into a gym while I'm gone.
Yeah, I think it totally depends. A, like what kind of place you're going to, and B, what kind of vacation it is. So I have a couple clients right now who are literally in Europe. And the one was like, "Oh, like should we plan to switch to some body weight exercises?" I was like, "Are you honestly going to do some exercises in your hotel room in Italy?" And she was like, "No, probably not." And I was like,
Also, you're in Italy, European vacation,
"Exactly."
you're getting lots of steps in. You'll be
This
fine.
is why I was like, "Okay, why don't we just switch to some habits? They'll pop
Yeah.
up like workouts in your program, and then you'll just be like checking in. So you're not just falling off the face of the earth, but you have something to kind of keep you, feeling like you're still engaged and on track and not like you're just like, well, like
Yeah,
YOLO,
I
we're in
would say
Italy."
honestly with most vacations, if you can keep your nutrition and your supplement routines as similar as you can, workouts matter a little bit less. Like it makes a far
Yeah.
bigger difference for me when I'm on vacation to like still do my greens and creatine, still eat some sort of protein at breakfast. Like those things are going to make me feel a lot better and then focusing on steps versus like, oh my God, I got to find a gym and get there
And
every day.
and let's be realistic here from a physiological perspective, you're not going to lose any strength or gains in like a week.
Honestly, your
You'd
body
have to
might
be
feel great on your week
yeah,
off.
you would have to be completely inactive for a number of weeks, and when I say completely inactive, I mean, like, laying down, to really lose anything, and you might feel like you've lost something, you haven't,
Your
but
first workout back is gonna be terrible, but, like, such
you're
is life.
absolutely right. Sometimes that rest week or, fancy us could call it a deload
Yeah,
is exactly what you need to come back with a little bit more motivation and feeling stronger and well rested for whatever's next in your program.
yeah.
Uh,
Especially if you train consistently, like, week to week in your regular life, having a few days off, your body might really thank you for. Like, if you're pretty sporadic with your
yeah.
workouts anyways, you're probably not gonna notice a huge difference with a few days off, but, like, if you're somebody who trains 3, 4, 5 times a week regularly, those 5 to 7 days you don't work out, you might be like, "Oh my god, my body feels really good right now."
Yeah. And I feel like there's zero vacations that I have like sought out a gym to go to. Because whenever I usually go away, I either go away A to like go skiing, that's a workout in itself, or B, I'm going to like when we were going to Arizona, I would bring my bike or I would run.
Mhm.
So I'm not really like going to the sun to hang out in the gym. I think if I
Fair.
was staying at an all inclusive, like I might think about it, but at the same time, I'm probably gonna be walking and doing other things or swimming, and that would be fine too.
Yeah, the only time I've, like, used a gym when I had Good Life memberships, like, if I happened to be somewhere that had one,
Mm,
I would use it. It also depends, yeah, what I'm up to. Like, when I was with my last boyfriend, I spent a lot of time in Winnipeg. There ain't much to do in Winnipeg, so I was at
go
the
to the
gym.
good life.
They have a really fancy Good Life, so I would go there once a day, or like when I'm in Calgary for a conference, like I would pop into a Good Life mostly because of the convenience of having a membership that works no
Mm,
matter where I am. But yeah, when I have time, when it's just me, I'm probably more likely to go to the gym because I don't have people to hang out with.
Yeah. Okay, switching gears a little bit here, but having another like broadish question. And we kind of talked about it a little bit, but how do we handle vacation food slash eating out in the summer? We'll just say summer in general, not necessarily being on vacation, but we all know that summer is a time for more people to gather outside. Maybe you're going to a barbecue, maybe you've got a wedding. Maybe you're spending some time at the cottage, and cottage means snacks
Maybe
and
you really love
brews.
ice cream like me.
Maybe you're walking to the ice cream shop every night after supper.
I
How do
do.
we
That's what I
deal?
do miss about living in Fort Saskatchewan is if you're local to Edmonton and we've never been to
Oh
Miller's in Fort
man.
Saskatchewan, you should go.
And
Um,
it's totally walkable from like anywhere in Fort Sask because
I
Fort Sask
lived on
is
the
not that big.
opposite. I lived in the opposite corner of Fort Saskatchewan, and me and my roommate and my dog would either like rollerblade or bike. Beautiful. Anywho,
The very Fort Sask thing to do is either bike, walk, or rollerblade to Miller's.
it's beautiful. It never misses. Um, yeah. How do we handle nutrition? Like I said, the things I can keep the most similar, the better. Bring your supplements with you. Keep similar structure. Like, yeah, even if you're away, you're at the lake, you're whatever, I bet you can still find something that's going to have some protein in there for breakfast. Or um, if you're road tripping or even if you're flying, like throw some protein bars in, bring them with you. I like to kind of have my protein covered as much as I can, no
Mhm.
matter where I am. So whether that's like going to the grocery store, like when I go to Mexico to visit my grandparents, I'm going to the grocery store. I'm making sure I prioritize having some like quick, high protein snacks on hand. If I'm staying more local, camping, going on a road trip, whatever, I will pack like Fairlife shakes and protein bars with me just so that I have high protein things covered. I don't have to go looking for them. I don't have to inconvenience anyone. If I know I'm short on protein, it's easy to just grab one of those and eat it and still go for the meal or grab food with someone else or whatever it may be, but I at least know I have a decent base of protein in my day.
Yeah. I agree. And sometimes that means like going a little bit out of your way to do that. So I actually just had this happen the other weekend at the cabin. I was like, oh man, when we don't plan to have like big breakfast, so like eggs, bacon, whatever, I'm like, I know I didn't really bring any protein. And if you don't bring stuff to the cottage, it's not there, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not like your house. So I was like, hey, next weekend I'm gonna bring out like those turkey sausages from Costco because I know I can just pop them in the microwave. And I just left them in the freezer. And I'm like, great,
Mhm.
now I can throw a couple in. And if we're just having like toast or whatever for breakfast, I can just grab a couple of those. They're mine. I put my name on them so nobody else jack my sausages and done. I would say the other thing is just to have, and I know we've talked about this so many times, but have those like non-negotiables, right? So like always have your water with you. That's something you can control. Try to choose protein at all your main meals. You know, like things like that can help you feel like you're more in control, even when things are feeling out of your control. Like if you're eating somewhere like at a wedding or something that you're not controlling the food that you're getting, right? So
Mhm.
choosing things that are vegetables. I feel like my summer eating doesn't really change too much from my winter eating, although I have a garden, so I'm really excited. My lettuce is like coming in hot. So we are
I
going to
love that.
have homemade, like I grew lettuce salads.
Yeah, I actually think the summer betters a lot of people's nutrition, especially if you don't drink. If you drink, we're
Mm,
probably taking a little bit of a hit because you're going for patio beers or
mhm.
around the fire pit or whatever. So if you do drink, I think limiting your alcohol or being conscious of your alcohol is going to make a huge difference. It's probably not your food choices that are making you feel like garbage. It's probably the fact that you drink 2 or 3 beers after work every day because the sun is shining or whatever it may be. Um, so yeah, if you are a drinker, just being aware that that's probably impacting how you're feeling throughout the summer too. Summer diets tend to be fresher salads, fruits, things like that. So there's nothing necessarily bad about a summer diet. Yeah, you're going to have more snacks, things like that. But if you can, with love, be an adult and take a little bit of accountability for your own nutrition, that's going to be helpful. The biggest thing I get from clients is they're like, oh, well, I don't want to like bother anyone, or I don't want people to think I'm weird if I like bring my own snacks. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. You know how many times I've brought snacks or protein or whatever, like I'm going to Nashville for my friend's 30th, probably going to throw some protein bars in my suitcase. Like nobody cares. Just do what you need to do to take care of your nutrition and feel good so that you're not grumpy and hangry the whole time, because they're going to care more about that than the fact that you're drinking a Fairlife shake.
And the other thing I will say about snacking is like, take a minute before you stick your hand in the chip bowl. Take a minute and just ask yourself a couple questions. Like, do I actually want these chips? Am I hungry right now? And is there a way that I can like get a serving away from the giant bowl, right? Because that's the downfall. Don't stand over the bowl of chips at a party. Take a plate or a napkin, get a serving, and walk away. That is where snacks get you, is they have this giant bag, this giant bowl. Go away, and then before you come back and refill your bowl or your napkin, ask yourself again, do I want more? Am I still hungry? And if you keep going back and going back, maybe you are hungry for more than just chips.
Yeah, and that's not to say you can't have them, but if like the answer is, yeah, I'm hungry, pair your chips with some.
Enjoy your chips. I don't actually care how many times you go back for those chips, because chips are freaking delicious. Who are we kidding? But if we do things from a place of mindfulness rather than mindlessly going back for another handful, that's where we can change things. And you're actually going to be like, you know what? I don't actually even like those chips. Why am I standing here? Exactly.
Yeah.
Get out of there.
Or like, oh yeah, I'm actually hungry. Maybe I should grab a burger or a hot dog or whatever. Like they're having those little check-ins are going to be
And
helpful.
also try not to get all like uptight about like a hamburger or hot dog. Like, you don't eat them all the time. Are there better sources of protein? Yeah, probably. But hot dogs are good, right?
Also,
like throw some mustard on it. Hot dog, delicious.
Yeah. Also, like chicken burgers exist, chicken sausages exist. So there's options. Like that's an easy switch to, like if you're having a barbecue and you don't love
Although,
a hot dog.
have you had a chicken hot dog?
No, but I've had like the chicken and feta sausages. Like there's options if you don't want just the typical.
I hate to break it to you, you're gonna be very disappointed. But you could get like an all beef hot dog, and that would be fine.
Yeah, or switch to a chicken sausage or whatever. Costco has plenty of options. There's other options out there for you. To maybe like that's even a little switch. Getting away from beef is going to be lower fat, higher protein. Like there's lots of options out there for you to tweak, but like idea is still the same.
You know what else you can do is you can take, if you're a parent and you're already like splitting hot dogs down the middle for your children, put 2 in your bun, takes up all the space. You get more protein with less carbs. It's a little bit on the healthy-ish. I mean, it's still a hot dog. Like, enjoy a hot dog.
You'll be fine.
Right?
But yeah, there's options out there.
Don't be the person that brought a chicken breast to the barbecue when we're serving hot dogs. Don't be that bodybuilder with your chicken and rice and broccoli. We do have a very specific question. Are we good with, everybody's good with how to handle themselves? Just don't eat like an asshole. That's basically what this is going to be. Don't eat like an asshole. This is a really specific one, and maybe one that's more towards me, but maybe Jill, you can talk about the nutrition side of it. Is I really hate running in the heat, but I can't run first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. What's the solution?
My brain's like, don't run. Like that's
Jill, just don't run at all.
Just throw the whole thing out. Pick a new hobby. I'm kidding. Don't like running and can't eat. I don't know. Eat a banana or something. I don't know.
Yeah, my suggestion is to start building your body's tolerance to tolerate fuel first thing in the morning. So you might start with a little bit of carbohydrate drink. if you're absolutely cannot tolerate chewing and then running, because at least you're going to have some calories in your system, some glycogen to burn off. Switch to a couple bites of banana. If you don't like bananas, a couple bites of a granola bar, a handful of nuts, small portions, and then get bigger. Or you could, if you need a little bit of digestion time, get up a little bit earlier if you can. Yes, ma'am. You have a
Well, I was
question?
just thinking, they said don't like running after eating in the morning, but don't like the heat. Nighttime exists. Like, don't go running in the dark, but
Oh,
like
yeah.
dusk exists.
I mean, it is tricky in Alberta when the sun goes down at 10 p.m. You have to start your run.
But even like post
but
7 p.m., it's getting cooler.
I will say, if you're training for one of those like relay things, like Death Race or Sinister, or any of those things, and you might be running at night, you might want to run at night. Just an
Also,
idea.
if you're training for a race where you're going to have to run in the middle of the day, you might want to get used to running in the heat.
And that's exactly it too. And I actually thought about this on my run yesterday, because last year, the 30K run that I did was, not only was it like up a mountain and, you know, whatever, but it was in the middle of the day. I started at about 12:30, like lunchtime. And so I was running on the top of a mountain in the heat of the day. And if I hadn't done any training runs in the heat of the day, I probably would have felt a lot worse about it. But yes, train the way you race. So if your race is first thing in the morning, yeah, you're probably going to have to get up and run first thing in the morning, because what are you going to eat on race day? These are things that you need to figure out before that happens. And if you're going to run at night, how do you feel running a long distance after a day's worth of eating, or a day's worth of hanging out, doing some activities, all those kinds of things? Yeah, you're going to feel different than if you just got out of bed and then started running. I don't think you should run on an empty stomach either. If you can, cool, fine, but why would you want to? But liquid carbohydrates
Go ahead.
your friend.
I present my first option of don't run.
You could also just not be a runner, which is a very scientific answer, which is,
the least helpful. Like, hey, I'm struggling with running. Don't do it then. So like, don't come to me for running advice, because I don't got any.
Yeah. That is all the questions that we have. But since we are, that was pretty quick. Jill, do you have any like summer goals or cool plans or anything on the horizon?
Nothing crazy. I'm going to Nashville for my friend's 30th birthday at the end of June. We're a little bit nervous because I don't drink, and I will be the only person that doesn't drink. And it's not that I never drink, but like, there's going to be a lot of alcohol for like many days in a row. And that's just, I don't care where I am, not the vibe for me anymore. So I'm excited to be in Nashville. I'm excited to like see the sights and sounds. I'm excited to eat good food. A little bit nervous to be the one who's like, yeah, I'm good on the drinking front, but I'm also glad I don't have like as bad of social anxiety as I used to, because I'm like fairly confident in my game plan to just be like, yeah, they want to stay out all night, like I'll go back to their Airbnb, or like they're all hungover, I'll go find food myself. Like, I think Nashville is touristy enough that like not being alone, but like getting myself back or whatever it may be, isn't terrifying to me.
Yeah. So. I feel like a lot of people are kind of going towards that, drinking less or not drinking at all. And I mean, hopefully there's somebody else there who's like kind of the same vibe as you, or maybe they just get sick of it after a couple days. But I mean, if not, I feel like Nashville's the kind of place where like there's stuff to do.
Yeah. And that's my thing with like drinking, is it's never worth it to me. And this is not for me to like throw shade at anyone who drinks. I've also been drinking since I was like 15. My mom listens to the podcast. She's already aware of this fact. So, and like in high school, I drank like both nights every weekend. So by the time I was of legal drinking age, I was like, I'm good.
But even this person's turning 30. Even if you waited until you were 18 to start drinking, like
a lot of years of drinking.
Would you not be over it? Like, I remember I was kind of over like the going out when I was like at like 30 for sure. I was like, oh, I don't really want to go out anymore. And yeah, like don't get me wrong, like a couple of beers, sure. Even now, I'm like, I will have a beer as long as we're having supper. Because otherwise I ain't sleeping.
No, I'm not like super worried about it. It's just gonna be a test of like me standing my ground. It'll be the first group trip where I'm like, yeah, it's not even a conversation of like I don't drink a lot. It's just like, yeah, I don't drink. So do what you will with that info. It's really only like 3 days.
Right.
Like we're gone the 23rd to the 27th. So it'll be fine that like if I have a couple drinks here and there, whatever. And then like I said, just getting comfortable being like, cool, you guys want to stay out till 5 a.m? See ya. Or energy drinks or a thing. I don't know. I think that's the misconception too that comes with it is like you have to drink to have fun. And I actually have more fun when I don't drink. So
yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Other than that, no big plans for the summer. Kind of in the weird limbo still of like, am I going to Vancouver? Am I not going to Vancouver? So hard to make plans because I don't really know where I'll be. So I should probably make a decision about that life choice in the next month or so here. Yeah. Other than that, nothing crazy. I'll wait till the end to give my last little tidbit on the summer. But what are you guys up to this summer? Anything cool?
Well, my race is in a week and a couple days. So after that, I don't really have any events like that planned. But I'm hoping to keep up running over the summer. And I started making a sort of I don't want to call it a bucket list, like an adventure list of things to do with my kiddo this summer, like go to the zoo or
go get ice cream at Miller's.
Go to this park. Oh, we already did that. Sorry.
Nice. Well,
but we'll probably do that again. Like take our bikes to the fort and go ride the single track there, or like little things like that I know that I want to do, but having a list sort of helps me be like, okay, we don't have anything planned today. It's gonna be nice. I'm kind of bored. What do we do? Because I love hanging out in our backyard, but sometimes we just need to like get out and go.
No, and I think like everyone has big plans for the summer and then you forget, and then it's the end of the summer and you're like, oh my God, I didn't do any of the things. So having them written down somewhere to be like, did we do this thing? Like me and my friend have been saying for years that one summer we're gonna do like the bike from Canmore to Banff. It's been like 3 years. We still haven't done it, but we'll get there eventually.
Yeah. And it's always nice to have just like a sense of accomplishment, like at the end of the summer, be like, oh yeah, we did all the things we wanted to do. And if anybody has any ideas for indoor activities that are not going to like those indoor playground things, because I would rather do anything else, literally. Just in case we get some inclement weather, it's always nice to have things to do that aren't let's go to a giant home sense and go for a walk, which is what I did with her the other day. and in case you're wondering, I only bought one thing at Home Sense.
Good work.
And it was something that we needed. So I was like, wow, I feel and we walked like every aisle, like toddler pace, and it took so much time. And I was like, yeah, solid work.
We love that. Yeah, sounds like pretty chill summers for everyone. It's nice to I said this last summer too, when I was living downtown, sometimes it's just nice to exist in the summer. I am missing the downtown vibes. I miss my little park that I used to go flop in every day.
And we will have hockey until like the end of June. So that's so fun for Edmonton.
If we make it, okay, well, we're not going to need Game 7, saying this out loud. But I'll be in Nashville for Game 7. So I'm like, no, you guys got to win. You guys got to win Game 6 at home. It's got to be done then. So
yeah, well, we don't want to win the cup somewhere else. No, we want to win it at home.
Yeah. So that'll be fun.
Do you imagine Edmonton will literally explode when we win the cup at home? It will just be like yeah, like it'll be just crazy. Like it was crazy when they won the conference championship the other day here. Like it was like there was like I could hear horns from downtown from my house, and I don't live like I live pretty close to downtown, but not like that close to downtown.
Yeah.
Right? Like it was like the Freedom Convoy horns, but way better than
way
that.
better. Yeah, downtown vibes during playoffs or something else. I missed that from last year. Too, maybe I should get downtown for a game. I've been to the indoor watch party, but I haven't braved outside. However, they have a new tent this year. Don't know if you
need to
knew
go
this.
to the Moss Pit.
Well, I didn't know if you know this, but they have a new tent this year.
Oh.
At the fan park. So there's like the Moss Pit and then the fan park, and then there's
Okay.
like a Molson tent that you have to be over 18 to get into. And there's picnic tables so you can sit. And I'm like, that
sitting sounds good because I don't want to stand for a whole hockey game either.
And then they have like a DJ in there. There's like tons of picnic tables. It's my ex who DJs there, so that's a little bit of a thumbs down. But you know, it's fine. We go for the vibes. So but yeah, my last little blurb on the summer is like, be okay that routines are gonna change. Your workouts, your nutrition, your day-to-day is not going to look the same as it does in the winter, especially somewhere that has all 4 seasons. Like we don't do much in the winter here, so you have more time to work out. Be okay with maybe working out a little bit less, but walking more. Be okay with nutrition being a little bit less structured, but still have your kind of rules with it. Things are meant to change for different phases of your life, different seasons of your life. Just figure out what game plan is actually going to work and still make you feel productive throughout the summer.
Yeah, I would say the same thing I always say is have your non-negotiables, have some habits that you are pretty good at, and use those as your small wins to get through the times that feel unpredictable and out of your control. Use summer as a time to do things outside that you normally don't do. So bring your weights outside, go for walks, maybe go for a bike ride, all those kinds of things. Use the weather and the sunshine, if that motivates you, to motivate you. Lean into that, go to the beach, go swimming, all those things. Every movement counts, no matter what the internet is telling you. We're telling you that it counts, and nobody else's opinion matters but ours. So, also enjoy the summer, right? Don't be a wet blanket, right? Like don't be that person at the barbecue that's so uptight about everything that you just spiral out of control. Try to relax and enjoy spending time outside, because it's going to be winter again before you know it, and then we're going to be sad.
Yeah. Enjoy the summer, keep some routines, check in with yourself often, and if you need support navigating the summer or running or
anything for that matter,
we got you. You can always message the podcast account at Lattes and Lifting Podcast on Instagram. Reminder that we do post on YouTube as well. Are we still doing that? Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
You can watch us on YouTube if you want to put us on your TV and hang out with us. And as always, you can find me on all socials.
Please let us know if you put us on your TV and do that. I would like to know that.
Like a nice Saturday clean with us on your TV in the background sounds nice. I do that with Jason and Travis Kelsey's podcast sometimes, so you guys should do it with us. But yeah, you can find me as always, if you ever forget, at coachjill.april on everything.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. Shoot.